everyone. Time Warner, one of the major forces in TV content creation and distribution, agreed to a marriage this weekend with AT&T, one of the major forces in telecommunications. AT&T agreed to pay $85.4 billion to tie its knot to Time Warner through a half-cash, half-stock deal. Executives from both companies went public with their engagement this morning via conference call and public appearances on places like CNBC. Both companies acknowledged that their road to marriage will face scrutiny from various regulatory agencies, including the U.S. Justice Department and the Federal Communications Commission. Time Warner owns cable networks HBO, TBS, TNT, True TV, CNN, and the Cartoon Network, plus Warner Brothers, one of the world's largest producers of television series. AT&T's holdings include satellite powerhouse BRIC TV, the U-verse cable systems, and Audience Network, the programming service available on both of these multi-channel offerings. AT&T and Time Warner are anticipated to bind together by the end of 2017. And more breaking news this morning. Sean Atkins is stepping down as the head of MTV. Chris McCarthy, the current head of VH1 and Logo, is stepping in at the end of the year. If you formed a habit of watching BRIC TV often, you know that this is not your normal local TV operation. Few local stations or services greenlight, then run scripted series. More than a year ago, this one did. The show about the show. Tonight, BRIC launched its second scripted series, Dad Day. It concerns a borough-based father and his long-lasting bud from kid times with one commitment: raise a child to be the ideal Brooklynite. Let's watch them in action.
She won't let me do it. She's 100% right. Why you always got to get her back? You're supposed to be my pal, my confidant, my golden girl.
Look, a Sophia Petrillo like myself does not make decisions based on loyalty alone. She trusts her gut.
Yeah, and I trust mine. And it's gotten really big lately, so, it must know something. So that's it. I'm cutting the cord, no more cable.
You can't cut cords. What did your therapist say? Look, TV raised you, man. Video music box, Yo MTV raps, cartoons. You gonna turn your back on your parents?
Brooklyn raised me.
Come on, you're an inside kid. You were plopped on a couch eating Twinkies. You wasn't out here on these streets.
Besides, the only reason I have a TV is because I thought I'd see you on it someday. So I might as well just throw it away.
I can't believe Henry graduated pre-K already. And it feels like just yesterday you were freaking out about getting Devin pregnant and having to commit your life to a soul-sucking job.
I wish it was free K. I mean, it's more like college tuition. This kid's getting a Norwegian-level education at Martin Shkreli prices.
I thought you was rich.
He's rich. My wife's rich. I'm still heavily invested in the get-rich-quick schemes and the pipe dreams. Well, forget about it, though, because the people, they're lovely. The education is great. The one thing that chaps my is that Henry is the only true Brooklynite. I mean, he was born here. I was born here. My father was born here. His father was born here.
I get it. So he should get a bigger diploma, you're saying?
Yeah, he should. I went to City College. His grandmother went to City College. His great-grandmothers both had to drop out of public school to get jobs. Lineage counts.
How long does it take to become a real New Yorker? I always heard 10 years.
That. We were beat in, they bought in. It ain't the same.
So what you're saying is you're worried your son is becoming a yuppie puppy?
Kinda.
It's all right. Let's fix it.
What a conversation. And now we welcome to this table the person on the right you saw in that clip, the creator and co-star of Dad Day, Craig Butta. Craig, welcome to BK Live.
Thank you. Great to be here.
How did you and your colleagues get this started?
James and I were just it was bowling night, basically. On Friday nights, he'd come over and we were working on a script that he had developed. And we kind of hit a wall with it, and we decided to start something fresh that we could, just start on, page one together.
And James being?
James is a great friend of mine. We went to college together. He's born in Bay Ridge. He's married and has two children now. And we just started this idea of, developing a show about how we started at the same point and kind of went into very different directions with our lives. He took on a corporate life, marriage, house, kids, and I was at the time still just making movies and bartending and used that as the basis of the show.
So how much of the show is you and your partner going through this idea of raising a child to be the ideal Brooklyn kid?
How much of that is based on reality?
Yeah.
Bits and pieces. I mean, we definitely dramatized and made this comedic. Henry, who is absolutely fascinating, the young kid, was really getting into Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello stuff. So that's kind of what gave us the idea of coming up with this vaudeville-type dynamic between these two guys. And the idea of making him an authentic New Yorker. James had just moved to Crown Heights, and he had this joke that it was the neighborhood he used to buy his weed in high school. So we started with that idea of these neighborhoods are changing, and the frustrated Brooklyn parent who doesn't want his kid to become a Park Slope yuppie, and he's trying to fight this in a goofy way. You know what I mean? Like he's overly embedded in nostalgia, and that was sort of the basis there.
So of all the places that you could put this program on, why BRIC? And I understand that the answer in part lies with the first scripted series I talked about before, the show about the show.
Yes, sure. Kave's show is great. Matt Grady, who works at Factory 25, was telling me about that show and telling me that BRIC was looking for more content. At the time, James and I weren't looking to pitch the show. It was kind of more, like I said, like a bowling night exercise for us of writing these things. We were going to just shoot it on our own. And then I met with Aziz, who is one of the producers here, and it just seemed like a really good fit. I love being here. This is a great space. There are a lot of creative people, a lot of great energy. So we just came together, and it was really healthy for us to have someone interested. It gave us a deadline and really put a fire under our ass to stay on track and get work done.
Now, it's 6 episodes. It's short form, about 8-10 minutes per episode.
Correct.
And one fun thing about it is that you shoot each episode in a different neighborhood of Brooklyn. And in one case, you went to Staten Island, out of the borough.
Yes. That episode is great. The idea is, and this is based on a real NPR story, that the New York accent is vanishing. And the NPR episode, I believe, calls it a vanishing breed. That with the rise of Midwesterners moving to New York, in 20 years, the New York accent will be completely gone. So we use that as the impetus for James to want to instill, to make sure his son has a New York accent. And what place is better to go than Staten Island? And he kind of describes it like a Jurassic Park place stuck in a space-time continuum with a 30-minute ferry ride or a $16 bridge. No one ever leaves. So we go on this adventure to Staten Island to authenticate Henry's accent and teach him how real New Yorkers speak.
Now, going back to Brooklyn, where did you shoot, and which neighborhood? And you said Prospect Park was one, Fort Greene was another.
Yeah, we did Prospect Park, Fort Greene, Gowanus, Crown Heights, and Coney Island. Which opens up, to do another season, to continue the show. Obviously, there's a ton of neighborhoods we'd like to explore and take it beyond Brooklyn.
So in Coney Island, for example,
Yes.
what happens here? How do you, what does the kid learn? What does the child learn in terms of?
So in real life, I was a carny in Coney Island after college. So the idea was that my character wants to take Henry to Coney Island and show him how great it is. And the whole time, I just kind of stop him from doing things. I won't let him play any games because they're fixed. I won't let him get any food because it's not good for him. So I'm ruining his day. And then in an homage to Little Fugitive, a great Brooklyn film, Henry gets lost. And it's the last episode of the show, not to reveal too much, but it kind of shows that he's picked up all these lessons and he's learned to kind of survive in New York without us.
The timing of the premiere today is perfect because we're starting the New York Television Festival, where people like yourself who are trying to get into the medium or have produced pilots, they're in competition, they're going for either making their pilot a series some way or to get a talent development deal. What did you learn out of doing this series that you think could be of benefit to the people who are involved in the festival this week?
Don't work with kids or cars. It was really challenging. Henry's amazing, but obviously having a child on set, and we have a couple of car sequences, it was very difficult. So I would keep it simple, and at the same time, as much as I'm jokingly saying don't work with kids, as I was discussing last night with James, he's the keystone to the whole project. Because we had Henry, we were able to do the show. So work with what you have. When I used to work in Coney Island, I made 2 films down there about carnival barkers because I had that asset. When I was a high school teacher, I used the high school as a set in different scenarios and different films. So use the resources that you have and start your writing process from there would be the advice I'd give anyone.
We just had Alan, the artist, talk about why he decided to quit his corporate job and do art. Was there anything like that for you in terms of saying, hey, I want to make television or make filmmaking what I want to do in my life?
Sure. I was teaching high school and doing theater at night. And in my 20s, I was able to do it for a while, burning the candle at both ends. But at one point, I just felt like I wasn't giving my all to the theater film stuff, and I wasn't giving my all to teaching. I was trying to do too much. So I segued into bartending, which gave me much more flexible hours and allowed me to focus my life on acting and filmmaking.
So if you go second season, what neighborhoods do you want to film this in?
We want to definitely we have this Caribbean thing that we want to do somewhere, like also in Crown Heights, maybe East Flatbush. We definitely want to do something in Chinatown. Those are the 2 episodes that we have written. And then we have another Staten Island thing that I want to go back there and do.
Got it. Got it. Craig, it is great to have you on the program. Congratulations on becoming the 2nd scripted series of hopefully be many more on BRIC TV. And it is very unique, again, that here we are in a local television operation and something that no TV stations, not just here but around the country, would never think of doing. Scripted TV is happening here and you're part of it.
Yes, and everyone can go watch bricartsmedia.org/Dad Day. All the episodes are live right now. You can binge watch them tonight.
And hopefully they will. Craig Butta, co-star and creator of Dad Day. Thanks so much for joining us here on BK Live.
Thank you, Simon.
And all the best for your series. Hopefully a great, great run. So anyway, as he said, first episode and all the episodes of Dad Day are happening. Well, in fact, the first episode is happening tonight at 10:15 on BRIC TV. You can learn more about Craig and the series from www.bricartsmedia.org/Dad Day. And you can get all 6 episodes right now if you go to that site. And as for the show about the show, season 2 launched a little later this fall. And behind the scenes, this season involves the Oscar-nominated writer-director Richard Linklater in a rare TV excursion. We hope to have Linklater and creator star Kaveh Zahidi on hand next Monday right here on BK Live. So tune in to see if we do. Quick reminder, as I mentioned before, the annual New York Television Festival kicks off this afternoon, runs through Saturday night. You get all the details at nytvf.com, and we hope next week on BK Live we'll tell you if any Brooklyn winners are around. Coming up on Tomorrow Be Televised, a live and rare radio encounter with Julie Menon, the Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. We'll update the recent efforts to expand diversity in TV creation production. That's 3 p.m. today on Blog Talk Radio.